Very good morning, cadets. Wish you a wonderful morning. Hope you're all doing well. We are approaching towards the monthly test. I am completed 3 chapters of history textbook, that is our past 2. Cadets, as I already explained, it's a new experience for both of us, teaching online mode, and assuming that you understood and you are sincerely watching videos and doing the work which is assigned to you. So today let us revise the chapter number 3 which I completed in my previous video classes. I revised chapter number 1 and 2 for your convenience and your understanding. Children, revision of the chapter is mainly done for the purpose of quick understanding of the chapter, or just remember what we studied till now. Chapter number 3, we study about Delhi Sultanates. The Delhi Sultans who ruled Delhi prior or before the Mughal Empire. We are studying about few kingdoms who ruled Delhi before the Battle of Panipat, that is in the year 1526. Tomara Rajputs were the first kings who ruled Delhi in the middle of 12th century, and initially they were called Chahamanas, then later they were called Chauhans. So Tomara Rajputs and Chauhans were the early kingdoms who controlled Delhi, and Delhi was a center for trade and commerce in those days, and in Delhi even the minting of coin was done, and this coin was used for the purpose of trade and commerce in Delhi. So in this chapter we study briefly about Delhi Sultans. In the table which is given, the table 1, rulers of Delhi: Tomara Rajputs, Chauhans, early Turkish rulers, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq, Sayyid, and Lodi. These are the dynasties which ruled Delhi. Briefly we studied about this. Tomara Rajput Anagapala was the first king who ruled Delhi from 1130 to 1145 AD. The famous king of Chauhans, Prithviraj Chauhan, 1175 to 1192. Then the invasion from the Muslim kings, Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia Sultana, Ghiyasuddin Balban. Razia Sultana was the first woman to rule Delhi. Then Khilji dynasty ruled Delhi from 1290 to 1320. Then Tughlaq dynasty ruled from 1320 to 1414. Then Sayyid dynasty ruled for a short period from 1414 to 1451. And finally Lodi dynasty ruled Delhi from 1451 to 1526. 1526 we remember because Battle of Panipat. Next chapter we are dealing, that is in the Mughal Empire. Cadets, if you remember, I explained in the chapter number 1, that is sources to study history. Indian history studied with the help of inscriptions, monuments, coins, that is numismatics, and many more sources like that. About Delhi Sultanates, because Delhi Sultans, they are not Indians, so their language was Persian. So from where we got information about Delhi Sultanates, that is what finding out about Delhi Sultans. So Delhi Sultans wrote manuscripts which were called Tariq or Tawarik. the authors of Tawarik who wrote about their kings. The picture I explained, these are the 4 stages of making a manuscripts or Tarik, okay, in which you can see they used to coat the gold plate so that it will be maintained for a longer period. So this is the process of making Tawarik, which we studied in this chapter. Further I explained about hinterland and garrison town. Okay, before hinterland and garrison town, let us see the birth distinction and gender distinction and the birthright. I explained you when Razia Sultana assumed power in Delhi in the year 1236. The authors of Tawarik, they were not happy with the movement because they felt that women are not supposed to be the rulers. So Minhaj-e-Siraj wrote about that, how Razia Sultana's brothers felt uncomfortable with assumption of power or assuming power by Razia Sultana. So we studied there, that is gender distinction, that is distinction based on the male and female, that is biological distinction based on the gender. Later we also studied about garrison town and the expansion of Delhi sultanates. Cadets, here you have to understand the meaning of hinterland and garrison town. Garrison town is a fortified town or a fortified settlement with soldiers. Later we studied that Siri was a town which was built by Alauddin Khilji to protect his soldiers. So garrison town is nothing but a fortified settlement. The meaning is given here. The hinterland. What is hinterland? Hinterland is nothing but land outside the kingdom is called as hinterland. So we studied about hinterland and garrison town. So Delhi Sultan started establishing garrison town, which we studied in the case of comparative study of administration between Muhammad Tughlaq and Alauddin Khilji. So hinterland, Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Alauddin Khilji, they concentrated on this because they wanted to protect their kingdom from invasion from Mongols or from Afghans. So internal frontiers means king tried to concentrate or consolidate his empire within the kingdom as well as outside the kingdom. Further, we also studied about the Alauddin Khilji's campaign in South and North India. The map is given here, map 3. You can see in your textbook, the map 3 explains about the expansion of kingdom during the time of Alauddin Khilji as well as during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. We also studied about masjid. What is masjid? A mosque is called as masjid in Arabic, literally a place where Muslim pray, that is called masjid. Generally masjid is placed, means the direction is towards Mecca, because they pray by seeing the direction towards Mecca. Once in a week, that is on a Friday, they will generally have mass or a gathering, and a true Muslim has to do namaz in his home every day. Further, we studied about the administration of Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Cadets, I explained you, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was considered as mad king of Indian history because of his plans. He had a great plan, but most of the time he gave less importance to the practical aspects of the plan, whereas Alauddin Khilji was successful administrator. We studied about the concept of bandagans. What is bandagan? Bandagan is a slave who purchased and later trained to become a general or trained to become a minister, but he was trained to become humble and loyal to the master. That is what bandagan. Later we studied the bandagans or the humble servants of Delhi Sultanates. They rebelled against successors of their masters. That's the reason why there are a lot of problem because of the practice of bandagan in the later days. That is also we studied. Further, we concentrated on the administrative system of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Alauddin Khilji. The land was divided as Iqta, and the landholder was called as Iqtidar or Mufti. The Iqtidar or Mufti was responsible for collection of revenue as well as help the king in providing military help in case of war. Later, Alauddin Khilji changed the power of Iqtidar and he reduced the power of Iqtidar because he felt that Iqtidars are not trustworthy. So, because of that, some changes were introduced. That is also we are going to study in the system of comparative administration between Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So, cadets, the land was divided into various small units of administration. Later, we also studied about the chieftains and Alauddin Khilji's administration, and of course, we studied about Chengiz Khan. Chengiz Khan, please remember Chengiz Khan's name because we study the reference of Chengiz Khan is there even in chapter number 4, that is Mughal administration. Chengiz Khan was an invader who invaded India and looted Indian wealth. So, because of the continuous invasion, the Delhi Sultans could not establish a strong kingdom. Further, we studied about comparative study of administration between Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Alauddin Khilji constructed a garrison town named Siri. Purpose was to protect his soldiers, whereas Muhammad bin Tughlaq planned to shift the people from Delhi to Daulatabad. That was considered as a wrong decision or impractical decision by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Alauddin Khilji paid soldiers in the form of salary, and these soldiers they started spending money in and around Delhi, means their settlement which was there in Siri. So there was a financial transaction. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq tax system was okay, but Muhammad bin Tughlaq was cruel because he was collecting tax even when there was a famine or when there was a severe problem. He was collecting more than 50% of the produce from the farmers. So Alauddin Khilji's administrative measures were later continued by the Delhi Sultans, but Muhammad bin Tughlaq administrative measures were failure because of his shifting of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, minting of currency, that is a less valued currency, was a failure. All these we studied in detail. Then finally, what is the last paragraph of this chapter is emergence of sultanates in 15th and 16th century in Delhi. In this we are going to study about the later kingdoms, that is Mughal. So brief history about Mughal kings is given in that paragraph, that Sher Shah Suri was the most powerful king in a short gap period, and he controlled parts of Delhi, as well as he is remembered because of the great administrative skills like the plan of Grand Trunk Road. Sher Shah Suri was defeated. Later, of course, Lodi Lodi was defeated by Babur, and definitely we study about Babur in the next chapter. So there is a reference of Sher Shah Suri, Humayun. This is only just reference, because in the next chapter we study in detail about Mughal kingdom. So after that I explained the story, that is three order, the peace of God, night and crusade, the religious war, and even I explained the question and answers, the circle of justice, all these question and answers explained to you. Cadets, please complete the question and answers. I received only few cadets responded. Complete at the earliest, because you are already, it is too late. Take care. I'll meet you in the next class. Take care.